I didn't feel happy. I felt scared. I felt afraid. And it wasn't anxiety, it was real panic attacks. Every day, I share another story from the golden age and the moments that shaped an unforgettable era. If you want to keep these memories alive, hit subscribe. It costs nothing, but it means a lot. Thank you for being here. Now let's begin. Goldie Hawn, the woman whose laugh lit up screens and made a whole generation feel hope, was always seen as pure joy and pure Hollywood sparkle. But now, at 79, she's opening up about the 6 actors she quietly avoided behind the scenes. And the names shocked Hollywood. People once called her America's sweetheart. Later, rumors started, too much, too fake, too overrated. Goldie remembered all of it. She decided she would never deal with certain people again. The stories behind those names explain why her bright smile sometimes hid very real pain. Bill Murray was the moment that made her walk away. He's said to be at the top of her private no-go list, not because of one tiny clash, but because of one moment she never forgot. It happened during a table read for a late 80s studio comedy. The pairing looked perfect on paper, but the energy went bad quickly. Murray showed up almost an hour late, loud and careless, dropping a half-finished cup of coffee onto the script and saying, "Now we can start." Goldie felt the shift immediately. When she delivered her lines, Murray cut her off with a smirk and said, "Try acting like you've done drama before." The room laughed, but Goldie didn't. She closed her script, stood up, and walked out quietly. The next morning, she told producers she was done. No statements, no fight. Later she said, "He thinks unpredictability is genius. I think it's exhausting." That moment changed how she chose her work. She avoided actors with volatile behavior and picked calm over chaos. When asked if she'd work with Murray again, she simply said she had no interest. Warren Beatty was the no that sparked silent Hollywood pressure. In the late 70s, when Warren was at his peak, he reportedly set his sights on Goldie. He invited her everywhere, and everyone knew what those invitations usually meant. Goldie kept it friendly but firm. She said no, and people around her said it didn't sit well with him. Soon, opportunities started disappearing. Scripts that were promised vanished. Directors who were excited suddenly stopped calling. One producer told her Warren was telling people she was difficult. Goldie later said, "He doesn't handle rejection. He punishes it." The quiet grudge followed her through the early 80s. Years later, they crossed paths at an award show. Warren approached with a smile like nothing had ever happened. Goldie gave a polite smile, then turned her back mid-sentence. That tiny gesture said everything. Dustin Hoffman was the audition that destroyed her respect. This wasn't rumor, it was something she lived. In the early 80s, she auditioned opposite Hoffman for a major drama. Halfway through, Hoffman stopped, stared at her, and told producers she's still playing it like a sitcom. The words hit hard. Goldie stayed calm, finished the scene, thanked everyone, and walked out. The next morning, she told her agent, "I won't fight for respect in a room full of men who already decided I'm a joke." She never worked with Hoffman again. Later she said, "Some men forget they're not directing the women around them." That one line became her quiet response to the whole situation. Chevy Chase was the on-set ego that broke their friendship. Goldie once told a friend, "If I ever have to smile next to Chevy Chase again, I'll quit Hollywood." During filming of Foul Play in 1978, their on-screen chemistry looked perfect. But behind the scenes, Chevy rewrote jokes, mocked scenes, and became upset if Goldie's jokes landed better than his. After one argument, he walked off and refused to return until a scene was rewritten. That was the moment Goldie realized their friendship was over. One night, exhausted, she whispered to her stylist, "He's not funny, he's just mean." The studio begged her to make a sequel, but she refused instantly. Sean Penn delivered the public insult she never forgot. In 2014, at a Malibu charity gala, Goldie stepped up to give a heartfelt speech about mental health. The room went quiet, except for Penn, who rolled his eyes and said loudly, "Another celebrity wellness sermon." Goldie finished her speech with grace. When the room applauded, Penn leaned back and said she should stick to giggling. Goldie stayed calm, raised her glass, and left early. In the car, she finally said, "My whole career, and I'm still reduced to giggles." From that night on, she refused to attend any event where his name appeared. Years later, she summed it up simply, "Not my energy." Kirk Douglas was the legend who made her feel invisible. At a late 90s industry panel, he greeted her by saying, "You haven't aged a day, sweetheart." Goldie smiled politely, but it felt dismissive. During the discussion, he cut her off repeatedly, corrected her, and talked over her. Later she told a friend, "He talks to me like I'm still the blonde in a bikini scene. I've won an Oscar." She stayed friendly with Michael Douglas, but she never mentioned Kirk again. Later she said, "Some men don't deserve a second act in your memory." According to people close to her, Kirk never even knew he was on her private list. 6 names, 6 moments. 6 times Goldie Hawn chose silence over drama. Behind her bright smile was a woman who knew exactly when to walk away and protect her peace. Each encounter taught her something. Respect isn't given, it's claimed. She could have exposed everything, but she didn't. Real power doesn't come from shouting. It comes from knowing your worth and never letting anyone dim your shine. Goldie didn't just survive Hollywood, she mastered it with grace, intelligence, and strength. Her laugh wasn't just joy, it was resilience. She proved that walking away isn't weakness, it's power. Drop your thoughts in the comments and hit like if this story moved you.